All right, let's dive into the first part of Zarathustra's incredible journey. This is a story about a prophet with a massive vision, a public failure that is frankly just epic, and the powerful rebirth that follows. And you'll see, it's a journey that has a lot to say about our world right now.
So, here's how we're going to break it all down. We're following Zarathustra's path in 5 key stages, from a kind of cosmic bet all the way to him figuring out a brand new mission.
So, our story kicks off not on Earth, but somewhere else. This is a place where the entire fate of humanity is literally being gambled on. And we're not talking about one person's soul here. The bet is on all of us.
Okay, so you've got 2 major forces at the table. On one side, you have the spirit of becoming, which is all about our potential to create and grow. And on the other, you have the spirit of contempt. That's just pure cynicism and nihilism. The wager's pretty simple. Is humanity going to rise to the occasion and overcome its own apathy, or is it just going to give up and rot away?
Now let's meet our guy, Zarathustra. After spending a whole decade in solitude up on a mountain, he feels this powerful, unavoidable urge to come down and actually talk to people.
You know, he feels like his wisdom isn't a treasure anymore. It's a burden. He's so full of it that he's about to burst. It's kind of like a cup that's so full it has to overflow. He sees the sun pouring its light on the world and thinks, yep, that's what I have to do. I have to share this.
Now, he doesn't go down alone. He's got his companions, his symbolic animal sidekicks. There's the eagle, which is all about the pride you need to stay above the cynicism of the crowd. And then there's the serpent, representing the street smarts, the wisdom you need to actually deal with the messiness of the human world.
And this really shows you the choice he's making. On his way down, he bumps into a hermit, a guy who loves God by hiding from people. Zarathustra just isn't having it. He chooses the harder path. To love humanity, you've got to get your hands dirty and jump right into the thick of it.
So Zarathustra walks into this town called the Motley Cow, which is basically a symbol for our chaotic everyday world. He's ready to drop some serious knowledge. But the crowd, they couldn't care less about truth. No, they're all gathered for a show. They're waiting for a tightrope walker.
But he goes for it anyway. Right there in the middle of the marketplace, he delivers this bombshell of a message. He tells everyone to stop looking up at the heavens for meaning. The real goal, he says, is to create a better future right here on Earth, to create the Übermensch.
Now, the Übermensch, or Overman, isn't some superhero with a cape. Just think of it as a symbol for what humanity could be. It's the idea that we can evolve, create our own values, and find our purpose right here, without needing the promise of an afterlife. And how does the crowd react to this incredible, challenging vision? They laugh at him. They basically say, no thanks. That sounds like way too much work. Can we just have the last man instead? And this last man is the total opposite, a person who only wants to be comfortable, safe, and endlessly entertained. So Zarathustra lays out this fundamental choice. Do you want the dangerous, difficult path of growth, or the easy, safe path of comfort? Well, the crowd's answer is pretty loud and clear. And he uses this absolutely brilliant metaphor. He says that humanity isn't the destination. We're a transition. We are a rope stretched over a giant abyss, with our animal past on one side and what we could become, the Overman, on the other. It's a dangerous crossing. And then, almost like he summoned it with his words, his metaphor becomes terrifyingly real. A tightrope walker actually steps out onto the wire. This guy has literally made danger his calling, and he starts to walk across the abyss. What happens next is just a tragedy in 4 acts. First, you have this guy's noble effort. Then, a buffoon, a clown, jumps over him, mocking him and shattering his concentration. Third, he loses his faith, and he falls. And the final insult? The crowd got their show, and they just turn around and walk away. Total indifference.
See, that buffoon, he's the agent of cynicism. He's proof that mediocrity will actively try to tear down anyone who dares to strive for something more. And with the walker's fall, the spirit of contempt, well, it just won the first round of the wager.
So yeah, that was a complete and utter catastrophe. But it's this massive failure that forces Zarathustra to completely rethink his purpose.
In this really profound moment, Zarathustra goes to the dying man, and he completely reframes the idea of value. He tells him, hey, forget all that talk about hell and devils. You made danger your calling. Your brave life was the reward.
As he carries the man's body away, it finally clicks for him. He realizes how naive he's been. He was talking to the wrong audience the whole time. It's like he said, he was trying to give precious honey to bears who could never appreciate it.
So, when he talks about his atonement, it's not about feeling guilty. It's a strategic pivot. It's him recognizing, okay, that approach was wrong. He learned a hard lesson. He's not meant to be a shepherd for the masses. His message is for a very different kind of person.
And this is what leads him to his new, refined mission. No more preaching to a passive herd. From now on, he's going to look for fellow creators, people who are willing to help him smash the old rules and create a new meaning for humanity, right here on Earth.
This is his new philosophy in a nutshell. The meaning of Earth is all about rejecting the promise of some reward later. Instead, you find value, you find redemption in the struggle itself, in the relentless, beautiful, and sometimes terrifying effort of the present moment.
And so, Zarathustra's devastating failure gets turned into this powerful challenge. And it leaves us with a provocative question, one we still have to ask ourselves. If the old rules and values are broken, what new, life-affirming ones are we, as creators, going to build to take their place?